What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are in the uptrend. Now, the last time I left you, I was talking about how we were basing around 60 to 70K, and I was telling you that we were about to move into this uptrend. And since I talked to you last time, we have 100% moved into this uptrend. We've broken out of that 60, 70 degree wedge that we were looking at, and we're now broken way out up into, we hit 94,000K Bitcoin today. So we're playing out just like I predicted a couple weeks ago. I knew this was coming, and the reason why is because I pay attention to all the analysts and where the markets are. And I'm seeing everything that's being put in place by the new administration that just got elected. The Trump administration is working diligently to put in place regulation, executive order, and pass laws for a strategic Bitcoin reserve. And I'm seeing some of the main players going around and trying to get every state to pass a law before he even gets in office. So this thing's happening quickly. BlackRock came out today and said they back a national strategic Bitcoin reserve for the United States. VanEck came out with the same sentiment. And so I wanted to show you guys real quick what this looks like. This is the Bitcoin Act of 2024. It's S.4912. The bill is almost the most viewed bill out right now. It's in third place, but I think it's going to get to number one before it's through its tracker phases. Right now it's been introduced. Now I just want to read you the main part of this document. The Department of Treasury must purchase 1 million Bitcoins over a 5-year period to hold the Bitcoins in trust for the United States. All Bitcoins acquired under this must be held for at least 20 years unless used to retire outstanding federal debt. Now, again, this says 1 million Bitcoin. That is massive. That's about 5% of the supply of Bitcoin, and there's just not that much out there to go around. So this would be a major demand flow hitting the supply. And there's really no supply right now, so this would skyrocket price. Now, if this actually goes through and this happens and we print a bunch of money to start buying 1 million Bitcoin over the next 5 years, this is definitely going to push price up to 1 million. And it's going to be hard to see a world where Bitcoin dips another 80% like it has the previous 3 cycles. So that is something that I've been watching for and thinking about, is how this next cycle plays out with nation states getting involved. When you have a bunch of nation states starting to buy and the biggest players with the largest amounts of capital are flowing in, you get to a point where you maybe don't dip 80% the next time because so much capital has come in and they're not one to buy a bunch and then trade all the way out. The entire market cap of crypto will probably reach about 10 to 15 trillion this cycle. And really, that number is super important when you think about where your bags are going to go, especially if you hold the top 3, Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana. Is all I think about is the total market cap of cryptocurrency, which is sitting at about 3 billion right now, which is where it was back in 2021. So we're basically in 2024 sitting at 2021 levels, and we're breaking out. And now I'm like, okay, well, if it went to 3 trillion back in 2021, what is its trajectory for 2024? And what I see, and from all the indicators that I'm looking at, the amount of money we're going to have to print as a nation to fund our debt, it's looking like this industry and the adoption curve, we're going to hit anywhere from 10 trillion to 15 trillion. So if you're just holding the majors and it goes to 10 to 15 trillion, well, that's already a 3 to 5x from here by just holding Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. It's a 3 to 5x from here in the next maybe year or two. So that's the way I think about this current cycle that we're in. And if that's all you think about, then all you're really going to do is hold until you see the entire cryptocurrency market cap reach those levels. It's really simple, and it's just like Raoul Pal says, we're being given a gift right now. I mean, it's truly a gift. It's just being placed right in front of you. And most people won't even take the gift. They'll just sit aside and watch it grow and say, man, I wish I could have gotten in. But you can get in now because this thing's going, I honestly think it will go to $100 trillion. So if you get in early, at 3 trillion, then you know you still have a 33x from here. So those are the kind of numbers I think about over a 10 to 20 year time horizon, and that's the real power of this industry that's being created. And now we're getting administration in here that's passing or trying to pass bills like this that are going to advance the nation state's adoption of it. So, and really, we're going to go into a huge price discovery mode here in the next year or two once this new administration gets in. Um, so this is an important act, and it's trying to be passed in a lot of these states. You have Dennis Porter going around many states right now, talking to legislative branches of the states and trying to get this Bitcoin Act passed in each state. He's trying to get it done before Trump gets into office. And you know, the only way Trump has talked about passing an executive order on day one for this, so we'll see who gets there first. Either they pass legislation before he gets in there, or he does an executive order right when he gets in there, and then they can pass the law later on. But that's kind of the way that I'm looking at this right now, and it's very, very interesting the way that this is playing out. And I can see a lot of good things coming of this. And I wanted to show you something as well here. I thought it was interesting. I read this today from Eric Boom. I don't know how you say his last name. A few hundred million so far of options. So the options went live today for the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF. It's a ton for day one. Here's a rank of the contracts of volume. It's almost all calls. Seems very bullish, especially in December. Especially the December 20th call for 100, which is basically betting that the price of Bitcoin will double within the next month, which I thought that was pretty insane, that these people are buying hundreds of millions of dollars worth of calls saying that Bitcoin is going to double in a month. So that should be telling you where the capital's flowing, what big money thinks is about to happen. And there will be a lot of gains here coming in the next, I mean, this is going to last for 12 months, so this is just the beginning. So 2x from here, that may seem like a lot. It's really not. I'm actually thinking we go closer to 300,000 to 400,000 this cycle, and then come back down. Plan B has predicted. If I go to my bookmarks, bookmarks. I just showed this one. So this is actually Plan B's prediction. So he's saying that we get a classic pump month, which is BTC goes to 70 in October. That happened. November, Trump wins election, ends Democrat, Biden, Harris, Warren, Gensler on war on crypto. That happened so far, and he also says Bitcoin to 100K in November. Well, we still have about 10, 11 days left in November for this to happen. He says December, massive ETF flow, Bitcoin to 150K. That's for December, Bitcoin 150K. That would almost be a 2x from here, not quite. Then he says January, crypto people, companies return to US, and then Bitcoin goes to 200,000. February, the power law cruise sells. So he's saying a pullback from 200K to 150. March, Bitcoin legal tender in Bhutan, Argentina, and Dubai, BTC to 300. April, Trump, US starts building strategic Bitcoin reserve. So the Bitcoin reserve passes, we start to build a reserve of Bitcoin, and we start buying Bitcoin as a nation. Bitcoin goes to 400,000. May, other countries join the rat race. So this ensues a race for accumulating Bitcoin. He's saying goes to 500K. June, several AIs start to use Bitcoin to autonomously arbitrage TradFi. Bitcoin is 600,000. So he's saying that AI is going to start using Bitcoin. Then July through December, face melting FOMO, Bitcoin to 100 or to 1 million, and then 2026 distribution phase, we're back to 500,000, and then the bear market in 2027, we come all the way back to 200,000 Bitcoin. So it's a pretty wild prediction, but I mean, who knows? Anything can happen. I'm thinking we stay up in this range here this cycle and maybe come back to the $100,000 mark. But you'd never really know. I mean, with all these nation states buying, I mean, the demand pressure on this thing, who knows how high it can go. So that's why it's always good to just have a little bit of an insurance policy in Bitcoin, because this is going to be around for a long time, and we're going to see this just go to new heights. So the last thing I wanted to show was Bitcoin fixes this. I'm here to get permission to use my own money. He's at the bank. So the paradigm is shifting. The legacy systems are dying. This new money is actually just going to put banks out of business, just like Blockbuster was put out of business by Netflix, a digital streaming company. A bank, a physical bank, is going to be put out of business by a digital monetary system. It's the same concept. Uh, so, guys, I wouldn't fade this. This is why I'm here. I'm trying to provide insight into the things that are happening in the world and why this is going to be very massive, and it's going to build your wealth over the next 30, 50, 100 years. And another side note for Bitcoin, it's great to have your Bitcoin on an exchange if you buy it and it sits on an exchange, but the point where you move that money from the exchange onto a cold wallet, you realize that it's not just a tradable asset. You realize that it's actually a sovereign asset once you put it on a cold storage wallet and you have it, wherever it is, in a lockbox at a, storage somewhere. Who knows where it is? Wherever you decide to keep it, you realize that this is a sovereign asset that you can hold yourself, and you don't need a bank. You don't need someone who's giving you permission to go spend that or send it or receive it or anything. So it's just a revolution of money, and we're going to see it come to fruition here in the next 10 years. 2030 is going to be a different world, and position yourself for that. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time. Take it easy.